what's going on? Welcome back to the Bradford Save. Well, I'm just going to run you through everyone who left on a free transfer at the end of last season. I did mention there were a fair bunch that were off on their ways. Now, Rocky Santa Cruz retired. You saw that. He scored in his final game, much to everyone's delight. O'Donnell, the goalkeeper, who you never saw. Josh Wright, Akpan, Reeves, Doyle. Then the names you probably recognise the most. Mello, of course. Essentially a bunch of names, squad players that are now gone. Owen Doyle was kind of shunted out towards the end of last season, so it may have been nice to keep a few of these guys around for squad purposes, but the amount of money they were earning for the amount of quality they provided, not really worth it, especially as they would have asked for more money had we given them a new contract, probably. It does mean I now need to run you through a bunch of incomings, nowhere near as long a list as that, admittedly. Probably means we'll have less angry people coming to me in the middle of the season saying, oh, I'm not playing enough. But three loan outbounds as well, just to mention now. Eddie Roberts, Patrick Grayson, Sergio Luis. Three players you've seen me bring in over the course of this campaign so far. Eddie Roberts is the AM central midfielder, central attacking midfielder. I just realised how good his physicals have gone. He's gone out on loan just because we don't really play that central attacking midfielder role that often, so figured he might as well just go off on loan. St Johnson wants him, so why not? Get some first team football more than I'll ever offer him. Patrick Grayson has gone out on loan just because we have an abundance of talent on the left-hand side. We have Texera, we have Braze Lopez, who is drawing attention from Premier League side, so I figured better keep him around and either develop him a little bit more so I can get more money for him, or keep him because he's definitely worth something and worth playing and probably is going to develop into someone good. Patrick Grayson, therefore, gone out on loan just so he can maybe develop as a first-team player somewhere else. Sergio Luis has gone out on loan this time rather than Carwyn Spencer because Carwyn Spencer is a homegrown nation valid, so for the purposes of our team, Carwyn Spencer is a little bit better for us because he occupies the homegrown club and homegrown nation spot. Luis doesn't do either of those at this point, so I figured A, get Luis some first team football, develop him up, and B, Carwyn Spencer, useful on the bench. Which does mean I now need to run you through the incomings for this season. Now, with Doyle leaving and of course Mason Greenwood going back off loan, you can see I've not brought him back in either. I figured it was well worth getting another decent striker in, another striking option, and well, this guy immediately. Yep, 550,000 spent on him. He's the one big purchase this year. Dribbling, finishing, first touch, 15, 15, 14. Acceleration, 14 as well over there. Other physicals, not that amazing. Mentals, mostly alright. Very varied on that. Concentration is a bit low, but his composure is good. You can see from the advance forward here, the ones that are highlighted. 15, 15, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14. Excellent advance forward. Definitely someone worth bringing off the bench at the very least. He's on a rotation contract. 17. He's born later than Bradford City were in the Premier League. That's a very annoying stat. Yeah, I had to get him immediately. Essentially, he appeared because the first thing I did was search for strikers with 15 finishing or 14 and higher finishing. Welcome, Adrian Ruiz. You can actually see from this, I did a lot of my major business at the start, straight away. I was not messing about at the start of this transfer window. Like, I know who I want, I'm getting them in immediately. Three which are Spanish. Kind of moved away from Portugal this time, gone to Spain. Three players came in at end of contract situations. First of which, Juan Dominguez, who, yeah, he's very good. Occupies that midfield role, essentially the fill-in for Coventry, who we haven't got back on loan this season. His physicals, not that amazing, in fairness, but his mentals, very excellent. Technicals, also mostly very excellent. Long shots only 11, but we'll take that. Not amazing on free kicks or heading, anything like that. Long throws, of course, not really that important. But technique, passing, first touch, all 15. Composure, 14. Decisions, teamwork, vision, off the ball, all very excellent there. His leadership's not great, but we have that in elsewhere. It's on £7,000 a week. We have managed to up our sort of maximum, well, especially after signing Kurt's earning about £10 a week, which is a little bit unfortunate because well, he's injured again, but he's 30 years old. Got another couple of years in him, probably. He's valued at 2.7 million. I mean, for a player I've got on a free here, this is pretty good business, in my opinion. Next up is Simone Grippo, who has come in from Zaragoza on a free, 31 years old. Central defender. Figured it might be well worth just getting another experienced central defender in, just because we had a couple of situations. Well, we didn't really have a couple of situations last year in defence. They didn't really get injured, our defenders, thankfully, because we didn't have a lot of strength in depth there. It is worth mentioning Eric Garcia is back in on loan this season and is injured currently, so glad I got this guy in. He's essentially here because I don't trust Anthony O'Connor for the most part. He is going to start for us this season, but mostly because Garcia is injured. He is going to be our starting alongside Garcia. Determination 14, slightly better leadership with 13. Decent physicals as well for someone who's 31. Spirited personality, I like that. Tackling 14, marking 14, heading 60. He's essentially Cyrus 2.0. Heck, actually, with this stat, 3.0. Considering the possibility of taking a role as an assistant manager once his playing career is over. Worth noted. Look worried, assistant manager. I've forgotten what your name is. Number 3 here is Agus Medina, the third of the players we managed to get in on free contracts at the end of their existing ones with their existing clubs. Now he's coming from Cornelia, another Spanish club, another Spanish player. He is not as good as the other two, in fairness, but decent physicals. Marking's 14, tackling is 12. Not great on the crossing or dribbling, which is a little bit worrying, although he can play slightly further up if necessary. Wing back is his preference. And he's a player I actually wanted to get in January, but just didn't have the funds. He was one of those players I looked at when Riley left. But yeah, he was a player I wanted to get then, and he just said no at the time just because I didn't have the financial strength at the point. But he's come in now, which is great. And yeah, he's got developing potential as well. So he's 25. Again, just looking for a little slightly few older players, slightly more experience. Of course, at this point, you may notice we haven't brought in any English players, homegrown things. So essentially, next 4 transfers, they cover that. 2 loan players from Everton, Lewis Gibson, occupying that lone left-back situation that we've grown accustomed to at this point. Physicals, fairly alright. Decisions, 15. Leadership, well, I mean, determination isn't great, but his other stats aren't really that much to be overwhelmed by, let's be honest here. Player actually originated at Newcastle, but Everton bought him early on. Played Accrington here last season, didn't really overwhelm there. He's one of those players I know can develop into a good player in a few years' time, so I figured get him in on loan. Why not? Homegrown talent. And then his Everton compatriot Josh Bowler has come in. Now he's playing on this right hand side as an inside forward. He is good at that, even though his immediate one is left hand side. But again, very good physicals, slightly better mentals. His leadership's trash, but alright. Dribbling is 16 though, crossing corners, not too bad. First touch, not too bad. Finishing, not bad. Everything else is fairly average. But again, young player, developing potential, all great. They are actually costing me a fair amount per week, but for homegrown talent who are half decent and can play at this level, 16 composure, 16 dribbling at this level is pretty good. Free transfer time. Jordan Rossiter was the best of the bunch here, especially as we lost players like Hope Akman, Jake Reeves, players that can play in that defensive midfielder role where Ferreira is first choice. He has come in as a backup, 2.5k per week. For that amount of money, I think, yeah, he's pretty good actually. Physical's not that great, really slow for some reason for a 23-year-old, not sure why. Mentals are great, and his technicals are astounding, but definitely a squad player who can come off the bench. He's essentially our first choice bench off substitute. Can play Segundo Volante, which is a role I actually really want to try out this year as a sort of a defensive counter-attacking option when we're playing better sides. I really want to try the Volante alongside a Anchorman or back situation as 2 sort of defensive midfielders, so that's an option that is sort of available to me now. I want to see if that works, really. But yeah, Jordan Rossiter come in from Rangers. He's never really played football. But hey-oh, decent stats. Hopefully he can do a job for us off the bench. Jim and Brian's still here, though, so we do still have our 2 first choice sort of midfielders for bench purposes. And then finally, Will Keane is the last one we brought in here. 14 finishing, 14 first touch. Again, another homegrown talent. Name that a lot of people who follow English football will recognise because spent a long time at Man United, went on a lot of loans whilst at Man United, ended up at Hull, and whilst in game here, moved to Hibernian. So, again, not overwhelming physicals, but mentals pretty good. Technicals very good, actually, for what we need them for. Penalty taking is 16, so if any game is looking like it's going to go to penalties, like bringing him on. Weirdly not good at free kicks, but very good at penalties. There is just one more player to mention, actually, which is this chap here. Now, obviously, I like to keep up to date with tactics for finding good players that don't necessarily are obvious, and this is one of these players I found from learning tactics from other people. Work the space. Shout out to you for this one. Looking for 15 to 16-year-olds who are currently unattached, and well, there was one. This chap who pretty good already, really. 16 years old, doesn't join me till next year. Annoyingly, I don't know why he's unattached to this. So I think it's just because he's not English. He didn't have a club, no club ever. Don't really know what's happened here, but fairly decent in a few areas already. And well, if he comes up to this, then he's worth nothing at this point. On nothing. His contract when he joined us is basically nothing as well. So why not? How do we fare in the season predictions? You may be asking. 22nd. We're not 1,000 to 1 anymore though. You can see there the teams that come up are Reading, Ipswich, and Sunderland. I'm not sure which team went down, stayed down. Rotherham, I think that might have been. However, the 3 teams that came down from the Premier League are the 3 teams that went up previously. So there's West Brom, Aston Villa, and Sheffield Wednesday back in Championship. So not really that fun in terms of teams that have come down, variety-wise. But hey-oh, we're not 1,000 to 1 to stay. We're not 1,000 to 1 to be promoted anymore. Well, that's something, I guess. Which does mean we line up like this for the first game of the season. Now, I've not changed anything tactic-wise for the main tactic this season. We have Gibson on the left, Grippo, O'Connor, Medina on the right there. Golubovic is still in goal. He has drawn some interest, so I'm just keeping an eye out for replacements for him, just in case. But Ferreira, Norman, Dominguez in the central midfield areas. That's not really that changed. We just got a new midfielder for Coventry, so Dominguez there. Texera on the left, Bowler on the right. Saramago up front. Now, I did mention Simon Kurt's injured again. He's not featuring. I do just want to draw attention to Saramago, though, because I didn't really realise how well he developed last season. He's still only on £950 a week, which is remarkable. He has started just drifting into having thoughts about a new contract. You can see it here, pre-concern. But I've sort of just said, I've just approached him saying, I'll discuss it. And he's gone, nope, I'm all right. Thank you for coming to me, though. So he's probably going to demand a new contract sometime soon. But for £950 a week, if we manage to get him on anything reasonable on the next one, that's great. But his physicals have improved. I mean, I think these physicals were good to start with, but yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they? His technicals aren't that great. Still only 13, 11, but offers us something. I like the fact our 3 strikers offers us something different. But yeah, he developed. He's essentially gained 1 point in most areas last season. So the other one just to shout out right now is also Texera, who developed reasonably last season. He's still not amazing. His determination is 19. His physicals have grown slightly. Work rate's still 14, so definitely a player who's looking to strive to get better as a player. But yeah, he's grown from sort of to very average, basically on just the good side of average in pretty much every area now, technique. So just to quickly run you through the bench players, we essentially do have the majority of our first choice bench players as well. Ruiz is on there, Rossiter, Staunton, Dalcio, Chad Lamb, Jim O'Brien. It's a little bit weird. There was only about 3 players who were here from when I started at the beginning. So shout out to O'Connor, Jim O'Brien, and Reece Staunton for being those. There's a few more down here in the people who aren't playing. Alex Jones is still here. Colville's still here. First game of the season. I forgot to mention who it was actually. Middlesbrough. We're playing Middlesbrough at home. Pre-season went all right. Let's see if we can continue that over. So they've gone for a 4-4-1-1. Us with the standard situation here. Come on, lads, show me what you can do. So we start this game on our balanced approach. Just feel out this game as it started. So we are at home against Middlesbrough here. And we have a highlight after 8 minutes. Texera is running out their defence, which probably means it's going to be their highlight in the end. No, Saramago's on this, out to Bowler, who smacks pairs. So that gains us a corner kick, which probably means we're not going to amount to anything here because corner kicks from open play are pointless, highlight-wise. But Grippo called it. Grippo over the ball here, and wait, Grippo's taking free kicks? I should really look into that. But we are having this game right now. 25 minutes gone. Middlesbrough finally having a shot. Well, I'll let you know if there's a highlight at any point. There wasn't a highlight. That was an exciting first game of the season where Portsmouth are winning 2-0 already. They're the ones I'm just keeping an eye on this season. We beat them, well, if we stay up, and if we beat them, that'd be great. So just calmly, not happy so far. And off we go for round 2. Now, we do have the better of this game, but we're not getting shots on target, which is the problem. We're having shots, but they're not on target. We're up to 9 now, and we have a highlight here. Now, finally, Gibson gives it to their player. Not sure what he was thinking there. Mpoku gives it to Braithwaite, who is sort of free, and that's blocked. That's a corner then, I suspect. Yes, it is. Number 40 for them. Mpoko on the ball. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, to be honest. Connor gets to that. Already a much better performance than you've seen him have in these games. We hound their players for the ball. I'm not sure why this highlight's still going. Other Tavernier, hounding him now. We've hounded them all the way back there. Come on. 14 chases after Burke. 18. I don't know the players' numbers. Coulson, Tavernier. I'm not really sure where this highlight's going, but there's a lot of passing going on here. 18. I mean, gone back to Burke. Oh, he's got breakthrough through here. He's got breakthrough through. They're going to score here. Yep, they are. Well, good start, chaps. That intensely long highlight ended up with an excellent through ball here, where, well, I must say, I'm not sure if that's Grippo or I think that's Grippo who's let him go through there, but not a good start for him. If we are honest, yeah, he's well onside. I don't know why you're showing us that. We need to go at them now, just straight up attacking. Josh Bowler's not having a good game from the start here, so I may just allow Dalcio to run it. If we can get something out of this, that'd be great. Just to kick us off for the season. Or anything at all, really, would be nice. Any highlights? Well, this is an incredibly dull game, which I'm not really sure how to shake up here. I guess I need to get someone up. None of the midfield are really playing badly, which is my worry here. Don't have an immediate replacement in midfield to put Adrian Ruiz on. We're losing, nothing's happening in the game, but none of our players are really playing badly except Simone Grippo in defence, who I can't really swap for this purpose. Not really a slight against Ferreira here, but I just had to make the decision. Norman's on the ball then. Gibson, who managed to put an excellent through ball to Ruiz, who hasn't got the best of angles, and smacks the post. First contribution for Ruiz here you've seen in game. This highlight continues, however. And it looks like Mpoko. No, they're not. A highlight went nowhere. Bring Jim O'Brien, fresh legs on for the last few minutes. Jim O'Brien also gets his points guaranteed, so that's gone to Clayton, who is going to get that back to Clark, who can swing that in. But is that going? No, that is going to end up with Texera. Not sure what happened to a number 4 there, but Texera is running clean through the centre of this field right now. Gets it to Dalcio on this side, who misses. Well, I got excited for nothing there, didn't I? Last minute of the game, a corner here, which leads to nothing. So we lose 1-0 on the first day of the season. By the fact we had twice as many shots, well, looks like we're back to chance conversion. Well, it's at the very least nice to see Norwich win their first game of the season. But, that being said... Right, so you can actually see our pre-season here. It didn't start amazingly well. Basically drew against every team in Portugal. That's why we went to Portugal on our training camp because I felt like we kind of owed Portugal considering we stole half their players. But, in terms of the games I'm going to bring you back against, we actually beat Bournemouth in that way. We do have Middlesbrough in the first round of the Carabao Cup as well, so hopefully we can do better that time round. I'm thinking Ipswich and Bolton. I'm just conscious of the fact, obviously, we've seen Bolton very recently. We've seen Bradford and Swansea recently as well, though. So in terms of teams in the window that I would typically bring you back in, it's all teams you've seen recently. Apart from Ipswich. So Ipswich are the team that are being promoted last season, and Bolton the team predicted to be stone dead last in the season preview. So I'm thinking that's probably what we go to, away games. So I'll bring you back for those two. But until then, hurrah.